Good day, grade 7 students. I am Sir John, and I will be with you as we study about science. Tara, let's learn together.
In today's lesson, we will be talking about location of the Philippines with respect to the continents and oceans of the world, which is a part of our lesson for the week 1 to 2 of the 4th quarter. The most essential learning competency indicated in our pivot for a budget of work is demonstrate how places on Earth may be located using a coordinate system. Today's lesson is from Pivot for a Learner's Pocket, which is used by grade 7 in Calabarzon region. Special thanks to Miss Aiza G. Caberte from Region 4A for sharing your expertise for the content of this lesson. Do you know where is the Philippines? The Philippines is on Earth, of course, but where exactly it is located? To answer this question, you have to learn a new skill, which is about locating places using latitude and longitude. When locating places, we can use either a map or a globe. Maps are two-dimensional or three-dimensional representations of a particular area, while globe is a three-dimensional model that is subdivided with imaginary lines called latitude and longitude. The Earth's grid system can be used to locate places on Earth. The imaginary line that divides the surface area between north and south poles into halves is called equator. The half of the Earth from the equator to the North Pole is called the Northern Hemisphere, while the half of the Earth from the equator to the South Pole is called the Southern Hemisphere. Because the Earth is round, the distances on Earth can be measured in degrees. A complete circle is 360 degrees. The distance measured in degrees parallel to the equator to the North or South Pole is called latitude. The measurement of latitude starts from the equator as 0 degree. From the equator, the North Pole is at 90 degrees north latitude and the South Pole is at 90 degrees south latitude. A line connecting all points on the Earth with the same latitude forms a circle parallel to the equator. This circle of latitude forms a parallel of latitude. On the globe, the parallels of latitude are usually drawn 15 degrees apart. Manila is at 14 degrees north latitude, but it is not just anywhere the 14-degree north latitude. The latitude of a place does not tell exactly where the place is. There should be another measurement to know the exact spot of Manila on a given latitude. A line can be drawn from the North Pole to the South Pole crossing the parallels of latitude at 90 degrees angles. This line is called a meridian, which represents a longitude. By international agreement in 1884, a zero line passing through Greenwich, England was chosen and is called the prime meridian. If you are on the prime meridian facing north, the half of the Earth to the right is the eastern hemisphere. Half to the left is the western hemisphere. The distance measured in degrees east or west of the prime meridian is called longitude. Manila is at 121 degrees east longitude. Following are figures showing the imaginary lines drawn on the surface of the Earth, the equator, the parallels of the latitude, and the meridians of longitude. To locate exact places on the Earth, one must look at the intersecting lines of latitude and longitude. The combination of these lines form a grid. The point where lines of latitude and longitude meet or intersect is called a coordinate. The coordinate system is being used in maps and globes. The coordinates are obtained from the latitude and longitude positions of a given area. Points are laid out in quadrants. Points to remember when using the coordinate system. Always locate the equator and the prime meridian before looking for a specific quadrant. be aware which hemisphere a quadrant is located. And in taking coordinates, the latitude position is written first before the longitude position. In locating the position of this quadrant, it is located below the equator, which is the southern hemisphere, and right side of the prime meridian, which is in the eastern hemisphere. When measuring the degrees of latitude and longitude, we can estimate and use the plus or minus 2 rule in giving your answers. Let's try to locate the latitude position using the star as the marker for the place. It is located above 0 degree latitude. That means it is above the equator and can be found in the northern hemisphere. Specifically, it can be found between 10 and 15 degrees north. But to be exact, it is located at the 14 degrees north latitude. Let's try to locate the longitude position using the star as the marker for the place. It is located at the right side of the 0 degree longitude. That means it is at the east side of the prime meridian and can be found in the eastern hemisphere. Specifically, it can be found between 120 and 125 degrees of east side. But to be exact, it is located at the 120 degrees east longitude. And by combining the latitude and the longitude, we already have the coordinates for Manila, Philippines, which is located at the 14 degrees north latitude and 121 degrees east longitude. Now you know how to describe the location of a certain place using latitude and longitude. The lines of the latitude are also known as parallels of latitude. That is because the lines of latitude are parallel to the equator and to each other. 5 lines of latitude have special names. They are listed in the table shown in your screen. The latitude values have been rounded off to the nearest half degree. The following are examples of places with their given coordinates. Let's start with Beijing, China. It is located at 40 degrees north latitude. That means it is above the equator, and 116 degrees east longitude, which is on the right side of the prime meridian. For Jakarta, Indonesia, it is located at the 6 degrees north latitude above the equator and 107 degrees east longitude at the right side of the prime meridian. For Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, it is located at 3 degrees north latitude above the equator and 102 degrees east longitude at the right side of the prime meridian. Tokyo, Japan is just above the Philippines, which is located at 36 degrees north latitude and 140 degrees east longitude. For Moscow, Russia, it is located at the 56 degrees north latitude and 38 degrees east longitude. And for this time, it is very near to the prime meridian. For Hanoi, Vietnam, it is in the 21 degrees north latitude and 106 degrees east longitude. And for Bangkok, Thailand, it is in the 14 degrees north latitude and 101 degrees east longitude. This time, try to locate the given places in your world maps using the coordinates on the table. Using latitude and longitude is not only the way that you can describe the location of a certain area. Another way is by identifying the land masses and bodies of water that are found in that area. So, what are the land masses and bodies of water that surrounds the Philippines? The Philippines is part of the Southeast Asia. It can be found in the northern hemisphere, between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer, found on 23.5 north latitude. Its exact location is between 4 degrees and 21 degrees north latitude and 116 degrees and 127 degrees east longitude. The Philippines is considered as an archipelago. An archipelago is a group of islands, especially small islands that are surrounded by water. The Philippines has 7,641 islands surrounded and separated by oceans and seas. However, only few islands are big enough to be inhabited by people. The Philippines can be subdivided into three groups of areas: Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. But there are two islands that make up the 67% of the country's total land area, which is 300,000 square kilometers. They are Luzon and Mindanao that measure 105,708 square kilometer and 95,587 square kilometer respectively. Next in size, after Luzon and Mindanao, are the islands of Samar, Negros, Palawan, Panay, Mindoro, Leyte, Cebu, Bohol, and Basilan. The Philippines is surrounded by Luzon Sea in the north, Pacific Ocean in the east, South China Sea in the west, and Sulu Sea in the south. And the other mentioned bodies of water can also be found around the Philippines. The Philippines is also surrounded by land masses or land formations around it. We have Asian continent together with Japan in the north, Malaysia and Indonesia in the south. Vietnam, Thailand, and Cambodia can be found on the eastern part of the Philippines. Guayami is the Philippines' northernmost island with only 132-kilometer distance with Taiwan, while Salawag is its southernmost tip with only 48-kilometer distance from Brunei. The Philippines is bordered by the Pusan Point in Mindanao as the easternmost tip and Balabac in Palawan as its westernmost island. By now, you can say that you really know where the Philippines is. You can now describe its location into two ways, by using latitude and longitude, together with the coordinate system, and by identifying the land masses and bodies of water that surround it. That ends up our lesson for the day. I hope you learned something from this video. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe. We'll see each other again for our next video. Keep going and keep learning.